All right, so we went over the refrigeration cycle. I didn't go over any real big stuff yet. Just like basic. We went over the steam cycle. Before I move on, are there any questions on any of that?
I'm good. I'm good. You did.
All right. So now the last cycle is the oil cooling cycle. So the oil cooling cycle starts right here on my screen. Okay. It taps into the condenser water. It has a shut-off valve right here. So if you want to shut off the cooling water for the oil cycle, you would shut it off right there. That little valve right there. Okay. Then that line went all the way up. It came across, and it comes down right here. There you go. So that line that I pointed to before, it came over the chiller, came across, it came down. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong one. Shit, where did it go? Oh, the whole line disappeared. Fuck. Let me see if I can click on it. Hold on. There you go. Okay, so you guys see it? It came from over the chiller, across. This is the same exact setup as Metrotech. It's no different. We got this down 100%. So that line comes down, and it comes into your manifold. Here's your manifold. It goes through the manifold. And now it's supplying water. It's supplying cooling water to this heat exchanger and this heat exchanger. This heat exchanger on the bottom is for your compressor. This heat exchanger on top is for your turbine. Okay, so it goes through the manifold. Then it supplies this head. And now for the turbine oil cooler, the water goes in. Heat exchange it, and then the water comes out and stops right there. Now, on the bottom, here's your supply line going to the heat exchanger, goes through the heat exchanger, comes out the heat exchanger, and both those lines meet at this T right here. From that T, it returns, goes up, and it returns back to your return line. On that return line, there's a shutoff valve. So if you wanted to shut off the return water going back in, you can isolate it right here. So if you wanted to isolate the whole entire oil cooling system, you would close this valve and then the valve on the other side that I show you in on the first pipe. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
The supply, yeah.
Yeah, so you can shut it off on the supply and you can shut it off on the return. That's your oil cooling cycle in a nutshell. And then, like I said before, now going back to it with everything back, you have a thermal valve. You have two thermal valves. You have a thermal valve on your compressor, oil cooling cycle, and a thermal valve on your turbine oil cooling cycle. So if you follow the water goes here. We're going to do the compressor one first. The water comes in through your manifold, comes out the manifold, and it supplies the oil heat exchanger, okay? And it comes out this way. Now, on the bottom, you got the oil coming in. Now, this is your compressor oil sump, okay? It's not a compressor and turbine oil sump. This is just for your compressor and nothing else, okay? So the oil comes out your sump. This is your supply valve that you can put on and off. This is normally front seated. The oil comes out, goes underneath. See the line? Comes under the heat exchanger, comes back up, and then it goes to this thermal valve right here, okay? So now, if the oil is too hot, this closes on top, and the oil goes this way, and it goes through the heat exchanger, and it comes out on this side, and then that supplies your compressor. This actually goes to your compressor oil filter on top. You see the oil filter, how it goes right into there?
Yep.
Okay? But at the same time, with this thermal switch, if the oil came back and the oil, let's say, wasn't too hot, it was like perfect to go through the compressor, this would open and this side would shut. And now your oil is just going to come in this way, come this way, go through the thermal valve, and then go right up to your
filter.
This filter actually has 2 isolation valves on it. If you look close, you'll see it. You see how they come out a little bit? It's like a T.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you wanted to isolate this filter, okay, we don't call them open and closing valves. A valve is either front-seated or back-seated. Okay, so if you wanted to isolate this filter right here, you would front-seat this valve, which means the valve would go down, and you would front-seat this valve, which means this valve would go this way, and it would isolate this line and this line. On Metrotech, on the bottom of this filter, there's a little black T, and that's your drain valve. So if you wanted to change out this cartridge, they also call the cartridge, by the way, oil cartridge. Compressor oil cartridge is the same thing as a compressor oil filter. Okay? So you would isolate this, you'd front seat this, you'd front seat this, you'd open up your drain because now you're relieving the pressure from the filter. Then you can unscrew it, take out the old filter, put in a new filter, close your drain, and then you would backseat this and backseat that. And now your filter's back in operation, all ready to go. Okay? So then the oil comes out of the filter. Damn it, it won't let me fucking. It won't let me click it. But anyway, fucking, the oil comes out of the filter here, goes up this line here, goes up. Now on Metrotech, there's a gravity fucking basin on top. It's to be like floating in the air. So this line here actually goes to that basin, to that sump actually. It's like a sump that's up in the air. That line goes to the sump up in the air, and then the oil comes out of that sump and feeds your compressor. And the reason being is that if you lost power on the compressor, this sump that's up in the air is maintaining oil on the compressor with gravity. So the oil will still go down the compressor if you lost power. And that's the oil system. And it's just vice versa for the turbine. But it's the same thing. You get your thermal switch over here, your thermal valve. Now the oil for this is fed a different way. This oil comes out. Can you see it here? Hold on. Okay. I'm trying to highlight it so you can see it. It's not letting me do it.
And go to a metering device. Go to metering. Pick a gauge, and then go back. That seems to work for me. Go to a monitoring device. Pick a gauge. Pick something. It'll highlight. Exactly. No? Doesn't highlight?
Of course not.
Yeah, I hate this thing.
I'm just dying here. I'll get it to work. It'll work. 1 second. I don't know why, man. This is so... It ain't letting me do nothing now.
You overstay your visit.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Exactly, man. It's so annoying. But it's hard to see because this is where your oil would come in, and then it kind of gets lost over here. Trying to... I see it. It's hard to see without it being highlighted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but You don't have another choice. Then just continue.
Why not? But I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Hey, wait. Fucking the sump down there. That's your compressor oil sump. And then this box right here is your turbine oil sump. Okay? So if I remember correctly, all right, it gets pulled through your auxiliary oil pump.
Mm-hmm.
This comes around. It goes down. And goes to your thermal valve. And then the thermal valve works the same way down there. If it's too hot, it's going to go this way and go to your heat exchanger. If it's not too hot, it's just going to go this way. It's going to go through your filter for the turbine. It's going to come up, and then it tees off, and then you get oil on the front and on the back. On the back of the turbine, I know I'm not sure you can't click on it, but this square right here is your turbine oil pump. That's the actual pump for the turbine. Okay? And this is your sump. And then on Metrotech, if you look closely here, you're going to see a rectangle. Shit, can you see it? You see like a rectangle right here? It's hard to see. There's like a rectangle there. Yeah, so that's to be your sight class. There it is. You see the line right there?
Yeah.
So on Metrotech, that's to be your sight class for this sump. So if they ask you for your turbine oil sight class, this is going to be it right here. Okay?
All right.
Can you pull back, Dan, the picture? Let me see if where the lines connect to the turbine. Oh, yeah, it do. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now, as far as the oil return goes, can I do this? Motherfucker, man. I swear to God. Let me try the other one. Yeah, I spend more time fucking around over nonsense than fucking actually doing shit. So on your compressor, holy fuck, they're not even here. Dude, they're missing. Oh no, there they are. Okay. So here's your compressor right here. I can't even click on it. Well, you see these two white lines?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? That's your oil return. This is the front of the compressor oil return. And this is the rear compressor oil return. You see those two white lines, guys? Ask me how I know which one is which. All you remember is big fat ass. Someone got a fat ass, the fat ass is in the back, the fat pipe is in the back. You're laughing, but it works, bro. I swear to God, I'll never forget it. All right? So the bigger pipe, the fat ass is in the back.
Dan, that's very professional.
Guys, it's professional. I can give you a whole bunch of analogies that'll make you laugh, bro. But this is how I remember stuff. It stays with me. All right? So those lines return to your compressor oil sump. If I could just fucking click this. There you go. And there you have it. There go your return lines for your compressor.
So the fat pipe is in the back of the compressor, you saying?
Yep. Fat ones to the back.
Small one is the front.
Understand, think about it. You got the refrigeration. You got your suction line right here, right? The suction line is going in through the front of the compressor. That's your front. Okay? And this is the pipe furthest away. That's the back. Okay? I mean, if I could click on it, which
I see it.
it won't fucking let me.
How about the turbine return, oil return?
That one's a little different. That one is going to be underneath.
Do they ask questions on that?
Nah, I have yet to hear a question on that. But you see this line right here? That's the return line. Because it's on the bottom.
Yeah.
See this line right here? Can I,
that's
see if I get lucky. Of course not. Motherfucker, bro. It probably does, but not on here. And I couldn't tell you where to do that because I have no idea. I don't see nothing. It isn't like the other one. The other one on the bottom, you know, you get sight glass and the valve and all that shit. On this, we had nothing. So I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But on Metrotech, they're not going to ask you anything about that because there's nothing like that on Metrotech. So, but I'm sure those PDFs that I shared with you guys, I'm sure if you look in the PDF, you can figure that out. Ah, there we go. There we go. So let's see what this is. Oil drain to oil sump line. Oil drain to oil sump line. Is this your return? Centrifugal chiller one turbine, oil filter, turbine line. So that's your oil filter. So there you go. So it's coming through the oil filter, and then it's pumping into the turbine, and then I would say maybe that's the return. I don't know. Let's say submit. Chiller one, oil sump, turbine line. That makes no sense. Let's see what this one is. Oil drain, oil sump. Yes. So that's the return right here. Like I thought it was before. That's the one. That's the one that comes across this way. See it?
Under the pump, yeah.
That's the return. Because, of course, it's on the bottom. You know what I mean? It's going to always flow from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
Is a return. And that's the pump right here.
Yep.
So, but they don't ask you any questions on that either. I have yet to see anyone get asked a question on that for the turbine. They just ask about the compressor. And then also with the compressor, guys, on the back of, I'm sorry, on the oil sump, on the back of the oil sump right there, that round thing, that's your heater right here. See? Compressor oil sump heater. So your heater's on the back, and your pump is going to be on the front. That's your pump right here. That's your pump. Compressor oil sump pump. And that's inside the basin. It's hermetically sealed. And that's it in a nutshell, guys. You know, I guess we'll call it night for now because it's been a long night, man. But
Yeah, I posted those floats on the WhatsApp chat.
yeah, like after we're done here, I'm gonna go download the PDF again and put that back in my file, man. Because I made something like 4 months ago that was really cool, and I don't know what happened to it. It might be on my old computer because I got a new computer in the meantime, and I don't think I transferred it over to my new hard drive. So I gotta either find it or I have to make a new diagram of what